Trees on the ground after severe storms blew through the Florida Panhandle. This was on Thursday. This video from the town of Pace, north of Pensacola, just one of many places in the South that have seen downed trees in recent weeks. And, you know, we see trees fall quite often during thunderstorms, sometimes on cars, sometimes on houses, which can be really scary.
Okay, but there are problems that come with this, not only the scariness, but sometimes these trees, they fall across property lines. So what can you do to help make sure that your trees don't fall? And who pays for it, though, Kelly, if it happens across property lines? It's a big one, no doubt. Well, joining us to help answer these questions, we've got Brian Ziegler. He's president of the Georgia Arborist Association. And then Sean Kevelighan, CEO of the Insurance Information Institute. First off, thanks so much for getting up early and joining us. But, Brian, let's start with you if we can. How can we prevent our trees from falling in the first place?
Well, the best thing that we can do is proper care. So treating the trees as early as possible, or putting eyes on them, so to speak. The most important thing you could do is contact a certified arborist, because they would have the knowledge and the training to be able to look for these things for you. But there's other things you as a homeowner can do. If you can see behind me, there's some trees covered in ivy, and you kind of see that in all the landscape. If you can try to remove a lot of that ivy, that can hide hidden issues with your tree. Also, just being aware of your landscape. A lot of people tend to not pay attention to their landscape until the tree does come down. So just being proactive and paying attention to your landscape can help you notice any kind of differences.
And Brian, how do you know if your tree, your neighbor's tree is vulnerable both above the ground and below? What are some signs we should look for?
So you can look for upheaval around the tree base. If we have some pretty strong storms, you'll see that every now and then a tree will lean and you'll see upheaval. Again, just looking in the canopy or the tops of the tree to look for any kind of decline up there. But again, I think, and I want to encourage everyone to contact a certified arborist, because that is by far the best thing to do. But if you notice anything in your landscape that's unusual, that's what I would do, is contact a certified arborist in your location.
So is that the key thing, making sure they're certified? Is that one of the mistakes that people make when hiring someone, is that someone does not have that certification?
Yeah, so in our industry, a lot of people tend to think that they can do this work, myself as well, when I was younger, before I got into this profession. And more often than not, people end up getting hurt, or they're taken advantage of by people who don't really know what they're looking for. So yes, I would highly recommend a certified arborist look at your property.
All right, Sean, let's bring you in. And the biggest question on a lot of our minds is, you know, when a tree falls across property lines, who pays for that?
Yeah, thanks for having us. Absolutely. When the tree falls, the rule usually is that where the tree lands is where the claim starts. So even if it's your neighbor's tree that falls in your yard, you're going to want to go ahead and call your insurance professional. They'll begin the claims process. Sometimes the insurance companies will work with one another and from the neighbor's policies, and you'll see that maybe perhaps your deductible can be taken care of if it's your neighbor's tree that falls in the yard. But most of the time, again, the claim will start where the tree lands.
Okay, well, the house is one thing, but what about your car? What if your car gets pummeled by a tree? Will your car insurance cover that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you have comprehensive auto coverage, and the good news is 4 out of 5 Americans have this. So not just the liability, but the comprehensive. So if a tree falls on your car, you have comprehensive insurance. You want to, again, go ahead and call your insurance professional and begin the claims process. If you do only have that liability, we still recommend going ahead and calling your insurance carrier, because sometimes you can figure out where the tree owner is, and perhaps that insurance policy can cover it. But comprehensive insurance for auto really isn't much more expensive, and so we always recommend that individuals go ahead and grab that kind of coverage as well.
And Sean, really quick, if your neighbor's tree is vulnerable, is there anything we can do about it preemptively?
Well, as Brian said, calling an arborist is a great first step. So you want to do that. Obviously, if you have good communications with your neighbors and letting them know about potential vulnerabilities, that's good. For your own home, making sure your gutters are clean, making sure you're installing weather stripping and things like that. Those can also be preventative measures in case of wind and different types of vulnerabilities there.
Okay. Well, gosh, Brian Ziegler and Sean Kevelighan, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for joining us. Very, very important information. All right.